Hello and welcome to a Pair of Dice Lost podcasting channel. My name is Brendan and I'll be your storyteller for the evening. I wanted to remind you all that until the 9th of May we are still running the Become Like a Dragon-Blooded promotion for our players. All you need to do is answer these questions. What was the theme behind the naming convention for episodes 11 through 16 and episodes 17 through 21? For each correct answer to those two questions, I will be giving our players some extra bonus XP. Send your answers to our Twitter or Gmail to help our players become like a Dragon-Blooded. All the info for submitting your responses will be in the episode description. Now, on to the episode proper. When last we left our group of friends, they had finally met with Leonard's mother, as well as learned the unfortunate truth about Dylan Bartello. Now that they know exactly what is coming their way, the group is given a time limit to prepare for the final confrontation beneath Brooklyn. Liv and Leonard head off to the land of ice and snow, and Ches, while Marci and Cass return to Brooklyn to deal with things back home. With only a season to prepare, it's up to our heroes to save the world from a very John Carpenter-esque fate. Stay tuned and find out on this episode of Exalted vs. World of Darkness, Friendly Neighborhood Exalts, episode 24, Double Trouble. As that mystical secrets were revealed to you all last game with the true final level 99 final boss that Tyler must defeat. You guys, I believe, are still in the Van Zandt estate for now. Are there any questions that you may need to ask these people before heading back to town? Well, to the city.
Will they help us if we need them with this crazy?
Yeah, ask my family to die for us.
Think about it this way, if they don't help us, they're probably going to die anyways.
Yeah.
Feel free to try to argue that logic.
I will, they won't die because I'm going to stop.
The girls nod gravely, and Leonard's mother does shake her head. She is still in a pretty beat-up condition. Even with Exalted healing, this is the best that she's gotten after 4 months of healing after a big fight in September, or 3 months, I guess.
It probably wouldn't hurt to look through the library to see if they've got any books on where the blade part of the first sword might be.
Oh, that's a good question I meant to ask. Has Mama Van Zandt just been healing naturally, or has someone actually tried to, medicine her?
Okay, so to answer Tyler's question, since that is the more pressing one, no, she has not received any medical attention. Do you actually, I guess you probably ask her, don't you?
Certainly. I might ask a few questions first. Be like, "Ma'am, did you just rub dirt in your battle wounds and not see a doctor?"
Now listen here. I most certainly did not rub dirt in my battle wounds. I'm a.
It's an expression, but yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I cauterized them. There are some healing burn marks on her.
Do I think that medically I may be able to offer assistance?
Yeah, you could probably help her out.
Ma'am, could you do me a favor? How about I make another cup of coffee and you just sit on for a minute and I have some medical training. Maybe I can help.
Oh, then I'd sure appreciate that. That'd be right kind of you.
Then I will do that and hope that I don't botch every medicine roll that I have ever rolled ever, even though I have 10 dice in it.
You can also excellency it, since you're going to basically just get your essence back after this scene, more or less.
I didn't pick up the excellency.
Oh no!
I never have.
Yeah, neither have I. I only just got an excellency, and that was for firearms this last session.
But I do have through Dead Eyes. It gives me +2 on medicine rolls, which I'll use that. Yeah, that's a pass.
Okay. So yeah, so you get
2 auto successes.
Yep, and then just give me that intelligence and medicine roll.
Wow,
bud. Give me another roll. Give me another roll.
Of course.
I feel like that's literally both ends of the spectrum. That's ridiculous.
Literally every time I try to do literally what I built my character to be good at, it just decides to fuck me in the ass with this shit. I hate it.
Okay, so we're going to take that first roll as you are inspecting her wounds and everything, and you are just straight up not used to another Exalted's physiology. It's human, but different. It's like, especially since she has the blood of elemental dragons running through her, and you can assume from her comment that she's fire aspected. Like, the first roll, which basically got a net of, 0, like, you didn't botch on it, but basically, it took you by surprise when you, took her temperature and, the thermometer was unable to read it because her temperature was too high.
Right.
I'll take that first roll as you're just getting used
Triage.
to you're getting used to the fineries of dealing with someone who literally is a manifestation of the 5 elements. And she's kind of walking you through it, being like, no, that's normal. Like you're trying to apply normal human physiology to a dragon-blooded woman.
Fair enough.
And then once that you go through a lot of stuff, and she corrects you on some things, that's when that's when you start applying the actual medical knowledge. You manage to more or less get her to the point where that in a few weeks' time she could be battle ready, as opposed to the 6 months that it would take her by her estimate.
Nice.
There were, to put it lightly, there were a few things that during the last major battle that she had that had embedded themselves in her that you had to remove, that had slowed her healing down to a fraction of what it used to be.
But everything went well, they came out fine?
Correct.
Nice.
Cody, as far as going through the library and trying to find something about the blade for the first sword, that is definitely going to be I'm going to say an intelligence and an occult roll.
Oh man, this is going to be so good.
It is going to be, I'm going to give you the choice of doing things. How many dice do you roll for this? 1 whole die. Okay.
Yep.
I was going to give you a choice, but now that you've rolled it,
Nope.
You don't find anything on this thing. At some point, Cass probably walks in, or Marci, whichever one of you guys wants to, and if they want to help you try and find it, they are welcome to, but I'm only going to let one of them help, if that makes sense.
You said intelligence and occult?
Yes.
That would be 5 dice for me.
You walk in and see Leonard reading a coloring book upside down.
Hey, Britt, how many dice would intelligence and occult be for you?
Intelligence is 3, occult is 2, so 5.
So either one of us. And I know Tyler's really good on that, but too bad he's helping, Letty's mom.
I mean, I could roll if you want.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, Britt, go ahead and give me an intelligence and occult roll, and I'm going to say that with Leonard's eidetic memory and knowledge of the library, give me an extra die, and the difficulty is going to be a 5.
I forgot eidetic memory.
And what exactly are we rolling for? Exactly?
Exactly. Lenny wants to try and find, if you recall from the heist mission, Leonard picked up a sword hilt that he wants to try and find the blade of it.
Have fun with that.
So, and you said add an extra dice, so that's 6?
Yep, and it's only difficulty 5. That looks like 4 successes to me.
Yeah.
All right, so it takes a while, but as an early Christmas present, I guess, I guess as a Christmas present at this point, because I think in-game it's like Christmas, Marci does come across a book that has drawings of ancient weapons. And as soon as that she opens up a page, Lenny, you notice that there are pictures for giant swords called diclaves that look very similar to the hilt that you stole.
Using my eidetic memory, is there any way to be like, that's the hilt? Or is it just, in general, these weapons look like that weapon?
It's just, in general, those weapons look like that weapon.
Gotcha. Oh, hey, that looks like the hilt that I got. That's it's a bit of a blade on it. Huh. Hey, Marci.
Yeah?
Does that book, do those words say anything about where you find diclaves?
So, Britt, what the book does tell you is that diclaves are ancient weapons made out of magical materials. A lot of the magical materials, the book states, have been long lost, but every now and again, something comes along that, every now and again, a small deposit is found. Oh, yeah, a small deposit of the magical material is found. It's very rare, but it does happen. A lot of the it names the substances though: adamant, orichalcum, star metal, jade, moon silver, soul steel. All of these things are names of magical materials that would go into making a diclave.
Okay, but does it say like anything about how or where they're made? Like if it's anything like special?
It says that they have to be made by a master craftsman, and the last known diclave to be forged was made by something called a Jotun.
A Jotun?
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
I'm gonna relay this information, like kind of like find the passages and like of importance and read them out to Lenny.
Oh, so you mean that guy could have made me a sword, and that's rude. We robbed a museum for him. He could have said something. I guess we gotta track down Mr. J.
To make the sword?
Yeah, you said it was made by Jotun.
I mean, that's what this says.
The text specifically says it was made by a Jotun, not by the Jotun. But if you want to let Lenny think that that guy from the heist did it, then, maybe he's not wrong. That guy was made of a lot of metal.
I mean, was he a Jotun, or was he or was that just his name?
That was just his name, but, I'll tell you right now, that is the...
Then I'm gonna tell him that it says a Jotun, not, referring to someone by name as Jotun.
Oh, so it's lowercase j.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Brendan.
Yes.
With Marci's interest in the cryptozoology stuff, would she know about Jotuns? Would they fall under that category?
Under cryptozoology, yes and no. They're more like mythological creatures as opposed to actual cryptids, but they're probably pretty closely related to Finnish trolls, which Dylan has told you before that he fought one once.
Okay.
So basically what I'm saying is that it's they do exist as far as you know, but no one's really seen one.
Gotcha. Just like Bigfoot. He exists, but no one's seen one. Alright, so yeah, I would explain to Lenny, this is more so talking about a creature called a Jotun, not necessarily a person.
Oh, they're like those giant guys. Well,
yeah.
I guess we're going to Norway.
Okay.
Why don't you just come to Wisconsin with me? It's basically American Norway.
That isn't a bad idea. I do like having friends.
And also, I hear we have good cheese.
And ice cream. Now, if anybody needs any confirmation that it's basically American Norway, I've got an uncle in Wisconsin who's named Donnie the Swede.
You know what? Fucking fair.
Dude, Wisconsin's totally American Norway, and no one can change my mind.
Okay.
If you actually look at it objectively, I'm pretty sure the Midwest accent is almost a Norse accent, or a Nordic accent, if you twist it the right way.
Yeah.
So, you guys head out of the library back to where the group is hanging out. I assume that you relay this information to Cass, as you guys tend to, as she is kind of your information broker.
I don't know. Is she going to tell me that my best friend's a Sidarial?
Big doubt.
Do you want me to break the trust to your best friend?
I mean...
And potentially have him have to leave us because he's found out?
Fair.
Also, let's be real.
Don't test me.
Let's be real here. Even if Cass did tell Lenny that Terry is actually the Sidarial James Bond, Lenny would just stare at Cass and go, "Yeah, big if true."
Yeah.
pressing X for doubt.
Yeah, Lenny would press X for doubt, even if he saw Terry just start shooting, like, finger guns and, like, doing Serenity's charms.
Yeah, you're probably right. He's not
Besides-
a scenario. He gets the cars from his weak old hot dog.
Also, it wouldn't be his finger guns. He would just have guns bolted to his hands.
Yeah. But yeah, gonna go ahead and relay the information with Cass.
So, do you want me to look into this Jotun guy and see if he can actually do something, or are we going to look for an actual Jotun?
Does your name thingy work on inanimate objects or just people?
I want to say people. Let me think for a second. It says individual's true name. So technically I believe that counts as a person. However, I do have Charlotte that might be able to find the information out for me.
Yeah, because Marci says it's not Jotun, the guy we did the robbery for. It's Jotun, the giant people.
Like I said, I can try and ask her to see if she can find out who could actually make this. What did you say it was called again?
The first sword?
Okay. Also, why don't you ask our friend that we also got from the heist? Maybe they would know.
Especially since weren't they called something like the First Beast or something like that?
They are.
Yeah, but they're called the first beast for, I'm pretty sure, a different reason than this being called the first sword.
But they were kind of in the same exhibit, so to speak. So maybe. But for now, I'm just gonna pull Charlotte basically kind of out of the ether and ask her to go and search for someone who knows how to repair this sword, and just let her go on the strings of fate.
Charlotte kind of looks around and then scurries down a drain and is gone for a moment. Charlotte will return in a little bit with that information.
Well, I have to roll for it.
Right.
Wow.
Wow.
Dice Parser says, screw you tonight.
I mean, technically you can just keep rolling for it. It's not like I can stop you.
It's true. I can literally just keep doing it. Nothing says that I have to, just stop. I can spend essence to make it automatically succeed, but I'm not.
You are totally allowed to do that, and like I told Tyler, you guys are basically about to regen essence after this scene.
Oh yeah, that's true. Alright, then I guess I'm just gonna burn through some essence then, to find out that information.
Okay, you basically burn an essence, and Charlotte hops out of the drain like 5 minutes later, and comes up and just like whispers some information to you in spider talk. That information is basically that the closest thing that it can find that could make a diclave is out in the Midwest.
I relay that information to everybody.
Midwest.
Looks like we're getting some cheese, folks.
So you guys are gonna head out to that area. Are you gonna be okay on your own? Because there's actually some stuff I wouldn't mind taking care of around here while you guys are gone.
Yeah, I'll be fine on my own. I'll have live with.
My hometown is the epitome of boredom. Don't worry.
Well, I have some people I want to talk to. Basically,
I have it handled if you'd like.
Yes. If you guys can handle that and do whatever you need to do, I'm gonna go and talk to some friends and hopefully not get shot and maybe murdered, and recruit some people to help us deal with this amalgamation that's growing.
Well, if you have to die loudly.
Do you want me to go with you, Cass, since the boys are doing their thing?
Unless you want to go out to what is apparently the boring Midwest. But considering one of the people I want to talk to isn't too keen on me, and seems to like you.
I think it might be best then if I go with you.
Yeah, probably.
To clarify some things here, before that you all split off to go and have your own separate adventures. Mostly because I've kind of talked with the group outside of the podcast to kind of figure things out. Is that we are going to start working towards planning the final confrontation. How you guys do that is all up to you, but I will let you all know that there is basically Dylan and Terry and Mama Van Zandt have given you all the information that the final day to do anything that you planned is going to be March 20th. You guys have from Christmas till March 20th to make plans. Obviously in-game, not the actual time that it is in real time. Because according to Terry's sources with the local spirits, the astronomical signs and everything, that is when the red star is going to be closest to the planet and is going to cause this thing to wake up. So basically, yeah, on the 21st is when it... so literally the first day of spring, this thing is going to wake the fuck up.
So, in theory, we might actually want to attack it before that day, because it'll still be slumbering, and maybe we can get the jump on it to possibly some degree. Not likely, but a maybe.
Right, exactly.
An extra punch never hurt nobody.
Basically, a lot of the things that you guys have to consider from information that Dylan and Mama Van Zandt gave you about the Ravnos antediluvian is that sunlight is not going to just straight out kill this thing. Going topside from the subway, like there's going to be no hiding that supernaturals exist. You guys might just want to kind of come to peace with that once this fight happens. Get as many allies as you can to help out. Also, you want to make sure to clear out Brooklyn, if not the other surrounding boroughs of New York on the island, because this thing can just grab people and start healing. The more people are around, the more health and the more innocent people that you guys have to like burn through to actually get it taken out.
So something I had already talked to Brendan about is I'm gonna play my favorite thing, which I end up doing usually for some reason. Whether it's actually my favorite thing or not, I don't know. It just ends up being how it is. I'm going to go and collect allies. And it's going to be one of those situations of, I get it. You hate us. I hate you. We all hate each other. But this thing will murder all of us. So let's just work together and murder it before we don't exist anymore. Okay? Okay, good.
You're telling me sometime in mid-March, we've got to lock down New York City?
Not lockdown. Basically, one of my ideas is why don't we call it a bomb threat to clear out the place?
That's gotta be like a nuclear bomb threat.
But we gotta think of some way to clear them out, and it's either super exposed supernaturals and basically let them wreak havoc to scare people out, or try and call something unrealistic and get them out of there. But either way, we have to clear out a whole place, or they're literally just going to be fodder to fuel this thing.
I have an idea. We could always, you know, what would scare New York? Floods. Snow
would
wouldn't.
Just release that Stygian curse, and then everybody turns to dust, so there's nobody there for it to eat.
No.
Whoa, why are you the monster? Tyler's supposed to be the monster.
I mean, it'll handle a little bit of overpopulation. It'll clear the area out and not give it health potions to snack on.
Super contagious.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna say hard no on that one, bud.
But it's not an awful idea.
It's a pretty awful idea.
Awful, yes. Effective, yes.
One of these yeses is better than the other.
Also, I had a side question. What quantifies something as being able to be consumed by the flesh monster? Does it have to just be like meat, or does it have to be a living human?
It has to be a living human. Vampires draw no sustenance from the dead humans.
Perfect.
You got the flowy blood? Is it going through your veins?
No, actually no, with how high its generation is, it cannot even get
Brendan knows why I'm asking.
I know why you're asking. He might have said some things.
It can't get nutrition from animals anymore either.
Ooh.
Or vampires. Also, it can get a lot of nutrition from vampires.
Wait, it can or can't? Because I heard
can.
both. Okay, that's what I thought.
If it were to feed on a Zamisi that was in a relative generational bracket, it could basically treat that thing as a full elixir.
Gross.
But luckily enough, Zamisi of that particular generation are extraordinarily rare.
Well, yeah. The generation you're about to have us fight is ridiculous.
Yeah, because antediluvians are what, 2 or 3?
3.
Yeah, rough.
But yes, if Britt wants to come with me, if Cass and Marci want to go and be like, cool, you remember how we hate each other? Well, I bet I know something that you hate more than us that's gonna murder you more likely than we are. and also be like, hey, remember how we're good friends? Help us.
Yeah, we're job security. They in the world.
So
Yeah, I'm down.
because my manipulation is 4, so it's decent. Like I can talk to people relatively well and manipulate them to do things, but I'm not super charismatic per se.
My
My
manipulation's 1.
charisma's 4 and my manipulation is 3.
Yeah, so you'll be more able to like, yeah, you'll be more likely to be able to like charm them and be personable, whereas I'm gonna be like the look. If you don't want to agree with us, that's fine. We're gonna agree to disagree that we hate each other. But there is a bigger threat here that you need to recognize as an actual threat and that we need to deal with, and then we can go back to, mutual hatred. Yeah, I already told Brendan that I'm looking to call in any Exalted connections we have, talk to Uncle Dylan and see if we can get any demonic connections. I want to go and talk to the vampires in the tower and get connections from them. I want to go and talk to Francesca and be like, look, fuck the technocracy, but this thing. My whole plan is literally this thing over here. Gestures broadly to the whole subway. This is a problem.
Look,
Gestures.
fuck the
all of
police,
it.
but
They could flood New York. They would have to evacuate. This isn't Florida. People are actually scared of hurricanes.
Who's scared of hurricanes? Like, that stuff is just mundane.
You know what? Go walk your alligator. This is real people talk.
Dude,
Or-
when I used to be able to sleep before LARPing, I would sleep through hurricanes. I woke up in the morning and we had a tree falling outside of my window. Mom's like, yeah, the hurricane passed through last night. I was like, oh, really? Huh. Weird.
What you do is you just age everybody to where they want to retire, so they all retire in Florida.
You know how much essence that would take?
I'm still on the Stygian curse plan.
No. What you need to do is talk to Uncle Dylan about flooding the New York sewer system. They'll have to evacuate then.
doesn't the sewer system overflow into the subway?
It also is, right next to the Hudson River. Just flood the Hudson River. It'll flood New York.
Yeah, and drown Mrs. Meatsy while it's sleeping. Problem solved.
Except that vampires don't need to breathe.
Yeah, they don't.
Now we've got sea vampires.
But it'll get all the
Problem
people. It'll get all the people out of the way, though.
Will it, though? Like, how stubborn do you think people
It will
are?
at least minimize the impact.
Well, I'm sure that you guys can figure out something to spook a bunch of people in Brooklyn out of their homes, or at least the majority of them.
Just unleash ghosts and just have them shatter things.
I mean,
I'll punch the Empire State Building.
that's also not a terrible idea. Just unleash ghosts on people.
I think wasting our ghost population to scare people away rather than helping them fight the demon that we have to confront is a very poor call.
To some degree, we're probably going to waste one of our resources just to get people out, unless we just don't care about the people, but that's going to make our job infinitely harder.
Look, I'm telling you, we just flood the Hudson River, and then not all of them will leave, but a good chunk of them will leave, and that'll minimize the damage.
Okay, so while that sounds super cool, I will ask this. If you flood New York to the point that people do leave, how are you getting into the subway system?
Curse you and your logic.
Swimming.
I think that you guys still need to breathe.
I almost don't need to breathe.
Okay, I don't think that Tyler
Give me
needs to breathe.
1 second. I might have a thing for that.
I'll just Heavenly Guardian technique against oxygen deprivation.
Pair the human act of needing to breathe.
Yeah.
Flip a boat upside down and just be underneath of it. Be fine.
That actually
Yeah.
works, weirdly enough.
For a short amount of time, because you will run out of oxygen in there too.
Alright, so if I can dynamic LARP myself into a supernatural, can I dynamic LARP myself into something that doesn't need to breathe? I could do
No.
supernatural being and
No.
charlatan. So can I
No,
be
because
a
it doesn't-
charlatan who convinces people and itself? Like use the Malkavian, high level thing where I can just pretend I don't have to breathe instead
No,
of
you don't. You don't get your own new character sheet.
Before we enter giving Brendan aneurysm mode, how about we get back on topic?
We didn't enter that mode yet.
I'm legitimately looking up if you all need to fucking breathe.
I think it's what is it? Dementation is the Malkavian thing where you can basically deny the sun.
You don't get that. Just because you get to LARP as a supernatural being doesn't mean you get their powers.
But what if, Brendan?
Okay,
Yeah,
but
no.
here's a thought. What is the damage value of the impact of not breathing air on the human brain? Because I think my silk can compensate for that for like several hours.
We're not. I love how me and Tyler aren't planning on getting rid of our need to breathe. We're just accepting that, yeah, we can tank it.
I'm like 99% certain you guys do need to breathe, though.
I'm also probably about 90% certain that we have to breathe, and I don't have the skill that lets me just say, fuck everything.
I swim so fast now, I could just swim in there and, swim in, swim out.
Well, you're strong enough, maybe you can literally just pull one of us each in and out.
I actually unironically don't think I need to breathe air.
I think that you're right.
Like, breathing is kind of a novelty.
Okay, so we can figure out how you guys are going to deal with that at another point. Still think that ghosts might be your best bet.
I want my ghosts for fighting things. Oh, who knows? Who knows how many ghosts I can wrangle up?
I mean, you did get given that idea by Legally Distinct Skelly to make life better for a bunch of ghosts in New York City. So, if you make all their lives better, like maybe they'd be all willing to owe you a bunch of favors.
Yeah, and also just because
I'll have to get some Wisconsin ghosts for my other plan.
Yeah, but just because they can walk among us doesn't mean they can't also help us when the time comes. Like, unleash your other plan a little early, and I'm pretty sure that'll start clearing out New York City.
Oh man. Hey, Christina. How hard would it be for you to superimpose yourself as a really high-end museum manager again?
Not at all. I already have the established LARP character for it.
I need a museum full of a bunch of wax sculptures. Stat. I'm talking a terracotta army of wax sculptures in New York City within the next 3 months.
We could probably... Is there a terracotta thing?
No. That was an example of how many I need.
Okay. I mean, what about taking possession of dinosaurs?
I'm going to Wisconsin for wax sculptures.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't Liv's parents, specialize in wax sculptures?
Liv's parents are secretly Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and you can't convince me otherwise.
We'll figure the ghost plan out later on.
What if we get a kaiju and release it in New York?
How far away is Japan? Can we get Godzilla? Well, is he like an exalted or a supernatural being?
If he's a supernatural being, can you dynamic LARP as Godzilla?
Yes, technically.
Guys, come on.
Honestly, that would get people running pretty quick.
Right? I've seen enough movies to know what happens. Ooh, zombies.
No, wouldn't work.
Yeah, no.
This year has literally proved that wouldn't work.
You're right.
I'd more likely get shot in the head.
So kaiju.
I do have corpse graft technique.
Dude, just go back to the museum, unleash the Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah, but the problem is I heard somewhere that the bones they put on display aren't the actual bones.
Oh, I made sure that they were the actual bones before I took them.
Like, this one's the most complete one, so this one has the most actual bones of anywhere.
Also, what if we just release the first beast and scare people that way?
I'm pretty sure they just call in the army.
I'm not sure the army can stop her.
So hear me out. Lenny and Liv take an off semester to go around to New York's greatest museums and start stealing every single dinosaur bone that they can find. And then Liv unleashes a bunch of dinosaurs.
Yes.
And the Declaration of Independence while they're at it.
Gotta squirt some lemon juice onto the Declaration of Independence and start yelling about how you need a reagent. That fucking scene will always be stuck in my mind.
We're overthinking this. I can unleash all the ghosts, and then I can just have all the ghosts go into their respective wax sculptures. It'll work fine.
Or, you want to know what
I want to move on. That's what I want.
You know what would be really easy? And we're overthinking it. Do you want to know who probably has access to, everything in New York?
None of this matters because I'm currently on the American Museum of Natural History website in Tyler. They've got a mummified baby mammoth on exhibit right now.
That's it.
We're putting a mammoth into the.
We're gonna send a mummified mammoth stomping down New York City with T-Rex arms and a gigantic lizard tail. It'll get the city evacuated.
I was just gonna have the technocracy hack everything and make people leave.
Oh yeah, New Yorkers would leave if you took away their Wi-Fi.
So we have some sort of plan in place for that. Let's go.
Okay.
Tyler wants his cheese.
so the boys are on the road, and they go to the town of Disco, Wisconsin. The boys have been... actually, how do you guys get there? That's a better question. Do any of you have a driver's license or a car?
I would imagine that Liv probably drove to school from Wisconsin. Yeah.
Okay.
Just flew.
Cheaper than flights.
Yeah,
I
Tyler, do you...
drive?
Tyler, do you have anything in resources?
Where would resources be on the sheet?
Backgrounds.
Then no.
All right then.
Disco is probably a pretty small town. You know, the kind of town where a wax sculpture artist and a horror mystery novelist would live.
Oh, I'm actually looking it up right now.
Yeah?
Wow. Disco is an unincorporated community located in the town of Albion, Jackson County, Wisconsin, United States. Disco is 8 miles southwest of Black River Falls. It is basically like, yeah, sure, it's a town. And you just like air quotes it.
It's like one road and there's a couple houses off the side of the road.
It's a community within a town.
It's a community within the town of Albion that has a population of 1,093 people.
But it's its own place also. Because it's a region not governed by a local municipal corporation.
It's like Matthews. Matthews County is like right above where I live, and it's just out in the sticks, and like 5 people live there.
Yeah. It's kind of like a township.
Exactly.
Okay, so anyway,
the free state of disco.
So you go to the free state of Disco, Wisconsin. On the way there, you are driving in I don't know, Tyler, what's a beat-up car? I don't know the breeds of cars.
It's probably like a really old Ford Pinto.
Oh, I was gonna say Pinto.
You both are driving in... You both make the drive from New York City in a beat-up Ford Pinto to Disco, Wisconsin. I want to say it's probably like a 2-day drive. I actually want to look that up because I kind of want to know how long that the both of you are stuck in the car together.
Cody, do you think Lenny would have been alone with Liv for any prolonged period of time during their friendship?
Props not. I mean,
yeah, probably not.
Wait, aren't you guys sharing a room at the Van Zandt?
A car ride is a different kind of alone.
See, I was just gonna say
they were probably like
and steal my dad's Ferrari, but Pintos work too.
Like most of that car ride is probably Liv like telling Lenny a bunch of facts about how Pintos explode, and also just very, very loud scream out music.
So Alabama, New York, zip code 14013 to Disco, Albion, Wisconsin, 54659 is 12 hours and 40 minutes via I-90 West. It is 837.9 miles.
Well, there you go.
It's a shitty ride, but it can be done.
Yeah. Lenny don't sleep at night anyways.
Oh, that's why, because there's like giant fucking lakes in your way.
Yeah.
Because Alabama's right on the coast of Lake Erie. Or not right on the coast, but it's pretty close. Basically a suburb of Buffalo. So you guys go from Alabama, you go through Buffalo, you stop in Cleveland to, I guess, see the Cleveland sights.
Da Bears.
You go there and see the Bears.
Da Bears.
And then you guys, stuck in there, fighting over who gets to switch music to whatever. And then eventually, you all bond over a thing of deep dish pizza as you pass through Chicago.
So much better than that stuff they serve in New York.
We should cut that.
It stays in. The Chicagoans will kill us.
I'm glad the Chicagoans enjoy their pizza casserole, but it's not fucking pizza.
And then eventually you guys get to Albion and Disco, Wisconsin. It is now December 27th. You guys have kind of, you left on the 26th, and it's like early morning, like the 27th. Liv's family has a sleepy little cottage in Disco up on a hill. It looks picturesque with a nice bright coat of paint. It looks well taken care of. The lawn is obviously dead because it's the winter. And there's a little tire swing out on a single tree that a little Oliver might have once swung on.
Have you guys ever seen the movie The Secret Window?
Yes.
That's the house that I imagine Liv's parents live in.
Oh, man.
So,
wow. Fun fact. Wisconsin consumes 90% of the brandy consumed in the United States.
Cool. Okay, so you guys come across the house of Sandra and Christopher.
Yep. Welcome home.
As your beat-up Ford Pinto sputters to a stop in its spot on the driveway, you can smell the first fresh pot of coffee for the day being brewed. As you can see sleepy forms going around the window as the bean juice of life is being brewed.
I can only imagine that neither Liv's father or mother ever really slept very normally because of their line of work. Because I imagine like a horror mystery novelist, she did all her writing at like 5 in the morning. Because as you do when you're writing, specifically something like that, it has to be like at 3 o'clock in the morning to actually get creative juices flowing. And I imagine Liv's dad like stayed up working all night.
Yeah, how do you sleep when you've got all those wax figures staring back at you?
By making more, obviously.
What do you guys do?
You ready, Lenny?
Oh yeah, it'll be great to see your family again.
You'll probably find them very welcoming and
Yeah, just like my family.
and I suppose they are. It's hard to connect with them anymore. No, like they try hard to understand, but they just don't. Anyways, Liv
Maybe
gets out
it's
the
you
car.
that don't understand them, bud.
Just kind of shrugs.
Okay. So I guess you go up to the door. Do you knock? Do you just let yourself in? What's the deal?
Me, Tyler, would probably knock, but Liv will probably just open the door and walk in because it's his house.
It's technically your parents' house.
Well, yeah, but like in a college student's mind, this is still like where you live. You know,
I never knock before going into my parents' house.
neither do I.
I always did.
But if
Yeah,
I was
okay.
away for like 4 years at a time, I probably would.
Okay, you open up the door.
Also, because we probably didn't call ahead and let them know we were coming.
I don't think y'all did. You did not say anything about that.
Yeah, there was a reason for that.
Right. So speaking of a reason for that, so you open up the door and there is a 7-foot-tall figure in front of you brandishing a machete. Hockey mask on, built like a fucking wrestling man, and the clothes look lifelike and almost dripping. What do you do? Did you say you punch it?
Yeah.
Lenny,
Go
please
ahead,
don't.
punch face forward in the face.
All right. So after y'all's time in Alabama, New York, y'all go back to New York City. Go back to Brooklyn. What do y'all want to do now that you're back in town?
I guess I can either call Francesca or I can just take Cass back to my apartment and see if she's there.
Do the second option, and if that doesn't work, then we can do the first option. I'm sure you'd love to see your pets.
Of course I would. I gotta check on my babies.
So both of you go back to Marci's apartment, which is just a block or two away from campus. Upon entering, you see that there's a very frantic-looking and honestly not okay Francesca, as animals are taken care of, but might currently be running the apartment. There are at least 3 squirrels that you were in the process of taking care of and nursing back to health that have since taken up residence in Francesca's side of the apartment despite her best magically inclined efforts. Your fish have somehow increased. You're not sure when this happened. Maybe Francesca decided to get you more fish. They're not the kinds of like bad fish choices that would cause like the other fish to revolt and murder each other, but the fish tank is fuller than it was when you left.
It's
I was about
probably
to ask.
it's guppies. They breed like bunnies, and they're live bearers. They just don't stop.
There is also at least 3 pigeons flying around that you're not sure about.
That's New York, baby!
This is New York, baby!
Is my cat okay?
Bada bing, bada boom. Forget about it.
Your cat is lazing about like it has been overfed. You know how big of a chunker that Emily's cat is?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of turned into that.
beautiful.
Francesca clearly does not know. Like, Francesca can take care of animals, but she doesn't know how to properly take care of animals.
I'm gonna open the door and be like, "My babies, I'm home." What is going on?
Marci, this is not what it looks like. We were just having a big American party.
I can't with that accent right now.
We were. And then she
Brendan's
sees.
German accent is so much more offensive than his Yeehaw accent.
And then she sees Cass and just kind of brushes a pigeon out of her hair and straightens herself up and just goes, Miss Cassandra, I see that you've decided to accompany my friend to her place of rest. What can I help you with?
Well, we were looking for you and figured this was the best first stop. Got kind of a proposition for you.
Yes, well, I hope that your proposition does not include breaking any more laws.
Well, yes, it does. It also potentially involves, saving the city and everyone living here and possibly people beyond that.
What information do you have that we do not?
Oh, my dear, I have so much information, it's not even funny.
Marcy's gonna go into the kitchen and, clean up any animal stuff off of the kitchen counters and, maybe start, some tea.
Yes, well, all right, then, let us commence with a bit of information trade, then. I will, in the fact that Marci has invited you into our house, you are then accorded guest rights by blah, 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 etc., etc.
I'm making a deal with a fae here, jeez.
You're making a deal with a law student.
I'm gonna look over at Francesca and just be like, I appreciate the, hospitality. Oh, and thank you for taking care of my animals.
Yes, well, hopefully you'll be in town for a while longer. This was, she kind of runs a hand through her, messed up hair. This was definitely an experience, but I think that if I ever have a pet, I'll make sure that my partner is the person who, takes care of the pets.
So, Cass is gonna sit down, maybe pet the cat if the cat comes around, or any of the other animals, and wait for Marci to make tea or refreshments or whatever. And once everybody's sit down and chilled, I guess that's where we can kind of start.
Marcy's gonna make the tea and sit it down in front of everyone and then just take a seat with you guys.
So as far as the animals are concerned, the animals react to Cass with nonplusness. They basically kind of ignore Cass until Cass starts petting them, and then they freak out, as if they were not expecting you to do something.
I mean, Arcane 4, I don't really exist to them.
Exactly. The only reason that you exist to Francesca is because that you are her rival.
Yep.
She basically has a defining intimacy with you of, I must beat you.
Meanwhile, I have 2 dots and allies with her as my ally.
2 dots and rival.
Beautiful.
All right, Cody, make me an attack roll if you're going to just punch it.
Can I make a roll to stop him from just punching it?
You can, in fact, make you can make an opposed attack roll to stop him from punching it.
Sure. Or, parry it.
Yeah, to basically parry his punch.
Or actually, can I just eat it? Not even, roll to stop him, but just, step in front of his punch so he punches me instead?
Yeah, sure.
5.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just eat it.
All right, you step in front of your buddy's punch. Cody, roll damage. It's going to be your strength plus 4.
His heart clearly wasn't in it.
Tyler, go ahead and roll soak.
Okay. Actually, since we're like this, I'm just going to spend an essence to, take the full damage and then, regenerate it. He'll, pop my jaw out of its socket, and I'll just be like, ugh, and snap it back in.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Yeah, you do that. Lenny, as that your fight or flight instincts calm down after you just hit one of your friends that you just spent 12 hours in the car with, which, pretty understandable reaction after spending 12 hours in the car with just about anyone.
Yeah. I
You,
let out the most manly scream.
Yeah, you let out a very manly scream as something that has haunted your dreams, the form of Jason Voorhees lumbers in front of you, and then you just realize, man, that's just a really, really good wax sculpture with an actual machete in its hands.
And you can see Liv kind of like pop his jaw back into alignment and like rub it. Ugh, cripes, Lenny. Good one. It's just a sculpture, man.
But why?
You get used to it.
You can hear the sound of your mother calling from the kitchen as the sound of a punch reverberates through, and then you two are talking. Oh, hey there, is that you, Liv? Are you back from college?
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I'm back. Just thought I'd stop in for a check-in.
Oh, that's just nice of you, don't you know? That's a real sweet thing that you done there, boy. Boyo, I really do appreciate it. Hey, who's your big friend there? Was he one of the boys that was hanging out with you at the museum?
Yeah.
Hey, Miss Liv.
This Liv kind of turns and gestures to Lenny. Yeah, this is my roommate. This is Lenny. Lenny, this is my mother, Sandra.
Nice to meet you again, Miss Liv's mom.
Oh, you're just so sweet there, don't you know?
Did we ever give Liv's family a last name?
I don't think that we did. Oh, was it Jones?
Was it Jones? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, it is Sandra and Christopher Jones.
Perfect. That's just boring enough. I see Pa's made a new sculpture, huh?
Oh yeah, he's just been working on that. There's a big horror movie show, horror movie festival coming up, and he got commissioned to do anything. She kind of looks at both of you and just like, "Jeet yet?"
It's been a few since we've had anything to eat. I smell you got some coffee on.
Oh yeah, I got some of the old coffee going. I can get the both of you some puppy chow if you want.
Sounds good, Ma. Thank you.
So she's not gonna throw some sad belly on the griddle and pour us up a little bit of moo juice.
I think she will do just that.
Maybe grill some cheese.
Oh yeah, no. If you both want, I could make you both a grilled cheese.
No, Brendan. Wisconsin grilled cheese is not a grilled cheese sandwich. It's just cheese they put on a fryer on like a skillet and fry it.
Oh, okay.
And it's not like cheese that melts either. It just gets like seared. It's like chewy. It's like cheese curds, but you fry it.
It's similar to the Wisconsin cheese bites you get at Sheetz.
Yes, but not like deep fried. It's like cooked on a skillet.
Yeah.
Pretty good actually. I think bread cheese is what it's called.
So
like go sit down in the kitchen and get a cup of coffee and
yeah, you both sit down.
Do Lou's family have pictures of him on the wall or anything?
Oh, they most certainly do. As an adorable child, to even the last day when he was going off to college.
Cody, Liv looks. You probably like remember vaguely what Liv looked like before, dying and becoming an abyssal. But it's a reminder of how starkly different Liv looks now as compared to what he did when he went off to college. He had like brown blonde hair and looked to be like, like supportive, to be like supported and almost happy. Very kind of sad, even.
Gotcha. So it's pretty obvious that you are your dad's most favorite emotionless wax figurine.
Ow. Well, Liv didn't really tell his family what happened or like reach out to them when he just kept on keeping on, and they just like the time that Liv met with his family during orientation week or like spirit week was the first time they'd seen him like that.
And because they're so supportive, they just kind of went, well, he's just going through a new phase, and we'll just support him if that's what he wants to do.
Is Pa sleeping?
No, I think that he's just finishing up that there Fred Krueger wax sculpture down in the basement.
Right.
Yeah, all the burn marks. It's a lot of intricate stuff. He had to do a lot of research on it.
Yeah, I remember. I learned a lot about anatomy from watching him work with my finger.
So, what can we do? What can we do for you, Liv?
Just kind of, it's been a while. I haven't really checked in with y'all. Times are weird.
Oh, yeah, that they are, but we're getting through on the money there, you know. I mean, we can afford this nice little house. It's fine, you know. You don't have to worry too much about us. You know that your parents are super well off. The only reason that you're that they live out here is because they like the quiet, and also the only reason that you like have such a shitty car is because you kind of like refused to take their money and wanted to prove that you could buy your own.
Right. Not so much about money. I know that last time you saw me, I was, I appeared different than I did before. Life has just been very, strange for me lately. I'm sorry I haven't communicated with you all better.
Oh, well, I mean, if you ever need something to get off your chest, kiddo, you just tell your mom. We're, you know that I'm here for you. I always have been.
Can I run a story idea by you that came to me weirdly one night when I couldn't see?
Oh, yeah, of course there, hun.
So, if you're writing a book, imagine that a very large city is going to be in a very, disastrous circumstance, and you need to evacuate the city all of a sudden. How would you, as an author, write that into your story?
So, you sit down and serve tea to everyone. You're a gracious host. Blah, 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 blah. And you guys get to talking.
So, Brendan, since I already told you I want to talk to a lot of different people to kind of bolster our ranks and gain allies for this fight, do you want to do them all in this mini session? Do you want to take more time on certain ones? It says it's more or less going to be kind of the same argument presented for each one.
So I definitely want to take the time to role play out this first one, because I think that role playing out at least the first one is important. And then if you guys go to another one who's going to be pretty agreeable with you, like literally the only thing that Francesca has against Cass is that you're rivals and that you've been messing with the time-space continuum. That's literally it. That's her only reason for disliking you. It's not that you guys are exalted. It's not that you guys have done heists and everything. It's literally that you keep messing with time, and that's kind of her department.
Cup.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the only reason that she's mad at you.
If you have to figgity fuck over it.
I mean, no.
Okay, so give me a second. So we're gonna sit down and just kind of relax. I assume there's gonna be that awkward pause while we all sip and just munch for a second. And finally, Cass is gonna look at Francesca. So, yes, I mess with time. It happens. It's because of what I am. The rest of us can all do wonky things as well. However, we have a weirdness. The people you work for don't really like us in particular, but there's a bigger threat out there right now. How much do you know about what's going on in the subway?
There have been multiple disappearances lately. There's some other problems that I would love for some people to investigate for me, but we simply do not have the manpower right now. There's other problems in other supernatural circles.
Alright. So, and I lay out basically just all cards on the table. Here's what I've learned about this thing on the subway. And I'm just going to kind of talk about its name, that it's called Zmisi, that I assume we know at this point that it's called an antediluvian. Or no, maybe.
Yes.
Sure. So I'm basically going to tell her the information, like what I learned about it. I'm not going to name names about the other ones because I don't want to get Lenny's family, like, per name listed to her, even though she already probably knows about them. I'm just going to mention that there was a similar thing to this in Bangladesh, was it? That took X, Y, and Z and all of these things to destroy it over a long time, months ago. And this thing is on the same scale as that Ravnos. So we are going to need a lot of people, a lot of factions working together to take this thing out. And the problem is, a lot of us don't like each other. I get that. I understand it. We don't all have to agree to this. It's more of the enemy of my enemy is my friend situation of this thing is a threat to all of our existences, and if we can take just that barest moment to come together and actually cooperate, it'd be really nice if we could just take this thing out before it, levels a city and decides to spread and eventually takes over the world.
Marci's gonna pipe up when Cass is talking to Francesca, just kind of watching how Francesca's reacting to her as well, and knowing that Francesca does not like Cass. Be like, also, Francesca, if you don't do it for Cass asking you, do it for me. Because this thing in the subway killed my uncle.
Okay, I'm gonna ask, Britt, what is your best social ability?
Empathy, expression, intimidation.
Okay, which out of those is the best?
They're all at a 2.
Okay.
But I have excellency in empathy, expression, intimidation.
I would ask you to make me a charisma and empathy check at a difficulty 6.
And then remind me again, excellency does what?
You can either spend an essence to get an extra 3 dice, or you can spend an essence and a willpower to get to double your dice pool for the scene.
I'm going to spend an essence to roll 3 extra.
Okay, this will be at difficulty 6 then.
Okay, so...
That's not
God damn.
at all.
As 5 successes. Okay, now, same question for you, Christina. What is your best social, what are your social skills at?
Well, let's see. My best one is technically subterfuge.
You're not lying, though.
I know. I guess it would be streetwise.
Do you not have anything in empathy, expression, or leadership?
God, no.
Okay.
Wait, no. I have one in empathy.
You know what? I think empathy is a real good trait for this. So, I'm going to ask you to roll your charisma plus empathy.
Oh, no.
Add 5 dice.
Add how much?
Add 5 dice, the amount of successes that Britt got.
Cool.
Hey guys, Brendan here. Thank you so much for making it through this far into our adventures. If you liked what you heard so far, why not give us a follow or subscribe on your podcatcher of choice? Leave a review, comment, or even follow us on social media to see what we're up to. With your help, not only can you overpower my players with bonus XP in the next game we run, we can also trick the algorithms into believing that we're better than we are. As we're starting to wrap up everything here, I wanted to take a moment to thank Raphael Crux for our theme song, Epic Blockbuster 2, and other music in this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod, Alexander Nakarada, Komiku, Raphael Crux again, and Orchestralis. And finally, thank you, listener, for making it this far into our shenanigans. That is an epic feat in and of itself, so take a few stunt die from me to you.